Get out the insurance cards, get out the co-pays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by
DrRoto.com. So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week. Ooh, yeah. Getting a little crazy today. It's a little early, normally earlier than you guys see me, but I know with the games going on today that there's going to be a lot of people looking for DFS lineups. I've got some bets for you. We'll also run the DFS Hero Simulator so that you guys can also have that. Well, actually, I already ran it, so I already have the lineup, and I have my thoughts on that. This show is being recorded live so that you have your information already together so you can go make your bets. By the way, if you did not catch the show on Thursday, I gave away my best ball top 5. So let me run through those real quick before I get to this next skit. So everybody ready? Y'all ready to bring the pain to the slates for another Ultra Contrarian show? I got a lot of teenagers upstairs sleeping because they've been up all night. So I ain't trying to wake them up and have them go all crazy. I'm trying to actually be a little quiet, if you know what I mean, right? But I mean, it's a beautiful Saturday. The Rams are playing. I'm wearing my jersey. My guy Dan from the Fight Club of Pain got me. Yeah, buddy. We're going for it, man. Horns up, Rams Nation. We're illin' today. We're gonna get everything taken care of, right? So that's round 2, and that brings up a lot of great strategy for the best ball. Who do you move on? Who doesn't move on? How do you attack? Really, it's your position. If you have first pick overall, you're going to be looking at somebody like Puka Nacua, right? But if you don't have the first pick overall, like I just ran a draft right before I went live, I had the 6th overall pick, meaning I had the 7th overall pick too. So I changed things up a little bit. And I could have went JSN at that point, but I ended up bringing back the Broncos like Sutton, Nix, and Ingram late. I think he was my last pick. So I'll just run through my top 5. But if you haven't been to the site, get to DrRoto.com. He just got off of SiriusXM. Use code word WIN. You'll get a percentage off of your subscription. Start winning today. DFS goes the whole time. Unlike a lot of shows, they all go away. I don't. You have me trying to give you lineups and bets all the way to the Super Bowl. Now, of course, behind the paywall at the Subs Only Discord, you get more bets, you get loose bets, you get the articles, you get everything, doc specs, you get everything. So you just don't get my stuff. You get a little bit of what I do on this show. I already put a ton of bets in because I'm going to be out with the family eating, and they're going to have to get me home because I'm not right during a Rams game. Like, I'm literally going to be in the restaurant like, yo, what's going on? And they're going to be like, yo, calm down, dude. And I'm like, hey, it's the Rams. The Rams are on, man. We're doing it. What up, Zach? You ready to win some money today? Because I am. And I cannot wait till the UFC comes back. Me and Dan have had 2 very long shows recently, but we gave out so much content in that hour and 40 minutes on Thursday. It was just insane. Talking about covering this whole slate, covering each game, talking about positives, negatives for both teams, how we can attack them. What up, Diamond? Right? So that's kind of the thing that we're doing. Plus, like I said, everybody's piling in. This is a live show. You can chat. You're going to get to bets. Again, that's all behind the thing. So make sure you get there. Like, follow, share Dr. Roto at YouTube, and bring the pain on the X. Also, follow me, Heat Override, on the YouTube. So that gives you all the stuff, plus my gaming. If you guys like gaming, come watch me play video games. Dude, I just run my mouth the whole time. But I ain't no, punk like those dudes. Yo, I back it up. Right now, man, I've been in that Marvel Rivals. Well, let's get to it. Let's get to the best ball top 5 because we got to get some more best ball. I just saw DraftKings only had one $3 one left. You gotta get your best ball in now because this is a ride, people. This is what we do the whole time, right? So I love gaming. Dude, if you could see what I have over there, there's probably $20,000 right there just in systems. And I'm not lying. I got them all. I got 2 TurboGrafx 16s, 3DO. I got everything from when I was a child. I'm talking about I got games of porn. It's not even right? It's Love Bites 3DO. Go check it out. Soft porn. I thought it was like Night Trap. So for a lot of the people out there, Night Trap was a game, vampire-like, but kind of weird little things, Sega CD, but the 3DO had it. I thought Love Bites was like that. Of course, I was buying this off eBay in its inception, mid-90s eBay. And yeah, so I ended up getting a soft porn. So that game's worth like 500, 600 bucks. And if you get the other 2 or 3 in this set together, it's like $4,000 in the plastic. It's crazy. Anyway, we're here to talk football, man. Gaming. So yeah, man. Thanks, Diamond. Thanks, Diamond. I really do appreciate that comment as well, too. So let's get through it. And again, you want these thoughts, go listen to the show. I'm sure there's timestamps. Quarterbacks, Allen, Stafford, May, Lawrence, Purdy. I like those 5. Receivers, Nakua, Collins, A.J. Brown, McMillan, Adunze. Of course, Christian Watson is my guy. Don't be playing on that plus a DFS slates. We all know he's 4,900 and probably going to be around 30% owned. Running backs, McCaffrey, Cook, ATN. People are just letting ATN just go right by. If Jacksonville does pull off the upset, you're going to get 2 rounds of a running back that's been getting decent work. He's not flashy, but he could get you about 17 points. I'm down for it. But I don't see them going too long. Jacobs, Gainwell. Gainwell is going to be maybe a 1-round pony, but at the same time, that's something sometimes you want to go. You get Gainwell, right? But later in the draft, because Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet have been falling, you could grab maybe Kenneth Walker so you get your round 1, round 2, and if Seattle moves on to round 3 or Super Bowl, no, they're not. The Rams are moving to the Super Bowl. Just get that right. And you get your rounds. That's kind of the strategy you have to go. But again, I talked about that a lot on Thursday. Tight ends, Kittle, Loveland, Schultz, Parkinson. I did have Jonnu Smith here, but now that he's come up with a questionable tag because he was going to be more of the cheaper tight end that you could grab, I'm going to go, of course, Pat Freiermuth. The guy's been getting the work done since Washington went out. He's got the extra targets that is going. And really, with Jonnu, they keep trying to run a play with him, like a running play. Like, why are you running Jonnu Smith out of your backfield? Just give it to Gainwell or just give it to Warren. What's the problem here? This is why people don't like you, Arthur Smith. That's why you need to go. But anyway, I love Josh Allen. I really do. That's why he's not only my number 1 ranked quarterback, but I was going to highlight him for the Ultra Contrarian lineup as my 5 picks. But the thing is, yeah, what's up, man? So what do we got here? Dude, can you shout out my friend? It's his birthday. Well, whatever your friend's name is, what's up, man? Happy birthday. You know, we're live. We get some crazy stuff. But yes, I love Josh Allen. Again, this is the first time Josh Allen doesn't have like a dominant quarterback in the AFC other than Drake May. I'm going to say he did have a great year, but like Mahomes, right? So this is his year. If he's going to try to get to the Super Bowl, then this is it. This is his easiest chance. Yes, I do. Actually, if you went back and watched the show on Thursday, Diamond, I did my brackets. My brackets were the Rams and the Bills going to the Super Bowl. So, horns up. It's going to be a ramming good time, if you know what I mean. There's going to be a lot of horns going off in that place, right? You know how the Bills do it. They got that craziness. Anyway, for the DFS side, of course, Rams, Houston, Bills, Eagles, Steelers, all sneaky. But when we get to the Ultra Contrarian lineups, we will do that. Also, if you didn't catch that show on Thursday, my fantasy football 2026 awards went to Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, Trey McBride, the Seattle's defense, and Jason Myers. Look at that. Look at that defense and special teams that you could have had for your fantasy football teams. All right. Now I know you all was ready for it. You was it. So this is what we do every week. And so when the Fight Club campaign comes back for UFC 324, you are going to want to be part of that, because last year UFC took over as my number 1 sport over the NFL, and rightfully so. It's all year long, but at the same time, I was able to find my niche. I was able to find the way we could get those finishes, those knockouts, the numbers that we're able to get. And because computers cannot read fights like they can read other sports, of course you can get the data, but in the end, you just don't know that's going to happen. Again, I don't want to float my boat, but there's a reason why I'm a grand champion. So that's the fight stuff. So Diamond Duno asks, do I like Saquon Barkley? I do like Saquon Barkley, but that game, again, I gave a lot of talk about that San Francisco and Eagles game, and I feel that it's going to be one of those 27, 20, 24, 20 games where it's going to be right around that mid region. So if you're looking at 5 touchdowns coming out of that game, if it gets close, we all know Hurts is going to steal one. AJ Brown could get one, but I could see also Dallas Goedert getting one, and then that leaves one extra touchdown. That touchdown easily could go to Saquon Barkley. So I do like Saquon. I like his price. He is priced down a little bit. On DK alone, they have him at 7,000, but it's saying like, would you rather have Travis Etienne save the $400, or would you rather do that 7,000? Of course, a lot of people are going to have Saquon Barkley in their lineups, but Christian McCaffrey is going to be number one. So cool hair. What type of haircut is it? that's called that's just a regular haircut, brother. Backwards hurdle. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be doing that against the San Francisco defense. The San Francisco defense does like to hit, and that's so when you look at the NFC playoffs, there's 3 NFC West teams in this playoffs for a reason, because they're all strong on both sides of the ball. They all know how to play. They all have great coaching, and they're all going to end up playing each other. I have the Rams and the Seahawks meeting in the NFC Championship game. So that tells you, and I have the Rams going through the 49ers, because I feel that, how dynamic Saquon is, there's also times that they're going to have to beat the 49ers. So that was the hardest game to pick for me this week, because it's these 2 teams going different directions. You got the 49ers trying to be flashy. You got Brock Purdy coming off a 45-point fantasy game, almost going into a 7-point fantasy game. You got Jalen Hurts just doing whatever Jalen Hurts wants to do. Run the ball, tush push, throw long, whatever it got. But at the same time, that's why this game is going to be so hard. Philly's defense does bend and can be broken. Also, San Francisco's can bend and can be broken. But really, when it comes down to it, both these teams are ball control offenses. They're going to be bleeding the clock, which I don't like that sometimes. I don't like that. And I know as a Rams fan, I've watched San Francisco literally drain almost 10 minutes off their first drive against the Rams so that they keep us off the field. Not saying that they did that this year, but that is what they do. That is what Shans does, right? So, we have to always remember that. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey's probably should be 100% owned. There's just he's going to get receptions. He's going to get rushes. He's just going to be more active than any other player on this slate, other than maybe Josh. So that being said, let's get to the Ultra Contrarian team. So quarterback, I'm going to start it off. Of course, Josh Allen was written here. I had to scratch him out, because as for the Ultra Contrarian lineups, I always try to make sure I highlight the players that are on the Ultra Contrarian lineup. So Jordan Love, 5,300 on DraftKings, 7,200 on FanDuel. I know that a lot of people do not like the Packers, but the one thing I do like about the Packers is how much Jordan Love spreads the ball. When he is on it, he gets everybody the ball. He scores enough points, and he's usually lower owned. Now, I did hear Doc talking about him, but I mean, his last game against Chicago on DK was 20.3. And then, you have the other games that they've played. And, when he comes off of that, you got 15, but then you have the last game against Chicago where he literally only had 3.8 points, but he only threw 13 balls. He wasn't going to play much in that game. It didn't mean much to him. So for that, we got to get, and of course, that was the game he went. But now we're back to it. Now he's back. Now he has Jaden Reed back. Now he has Josh Jacobs full. Have I been to a live game? Yes, actually, one of the live games I have been to is the Rams in Cleveland on Monday night when John Madden and Pat Summerall called that game, 2001. That was one of the games I was been to. But my buddy Dan wants me to go. But as in like to LA? Nope. I've never been to LA. So Jordan Love is going to be, I'm going to say Jordan Love's 22% owned on the 6-game slate, right? Not today. Today, that's a whole other story, people. But that's going to be Jordan Love. Moving along, a running back that everybody's going to look over, not trust, is going to be Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams always gets the ball, whether it be in the passing game, which isn't too much. I mean, he doesn't get too many targets, but I mean, in his last 3 games, 5 targets, 3 targets, 6 targets. Of course, that was way more than he's been getting recently, but that's because they've been using Corum between the run tackles, which makes the Williams-Corum pair for today very intriguing. Hint. So with that being said, when you get that consistency and you get that, a lot of people are going to avoid him today. They're either going to go for Travion, they're either going to go for Gainwell, or they're going to, or maybe they'll try to get that cheap touchdown backup and they'll try to get Corum only. But for me, I don't think it goes that deep. So with Williams 6,400, 7,900 on FanDuel, that's a little expensive for me. But at the same time, I'm going to pay that because everybody else is out. Wide receiver Christian Watson. You knew I had to pair up Jordan Love with somebody, right? Ever since Christian Watson has come back, ever since Christian Watson's name has been a part of the Packers organization, there's a lot of things that happen. Long balls, he catches them, he's got the swag, and everybody likes him. That was supposed to be Jaden Reed. Now, there's your sneaky guy right there, Jaden Reed. But Christian Watson at 4,900 on DraftKings and 6,300 on FanDuel is almost a lock. And I know everybody's talking to him. He's probably going to be, like I said earlier, around 33, 34% owned. So it's kind of that. Hey, man, thanks a lot, Diamond. Thanks for coming in, chatting. It means a lot to me, man. Make sure you check out. And if you love UFC, DFS, UFC betting, I'm telling you right now, we hit 2,900 parlays, 2,600. Well, no, we hit a 4,200 parlay during the season last year, and then a bunch of single bet 2,900s, 2,600s for UFC. When that comes back and football's about to go out, make some money with the UFC on the Fight Club of Pain only at drroto.com. Yeah, but thanks for stopping by, bud. But so to move it along, let's get it on. So tight end was kind of crazy. There's a lot. Dalton Schultz has literally got the best matchup, in my opinion. But what I do like is the other tight end in that game, Pat Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth, 3,900, 5,200 on FanDuel. Now on FanDuel, what makes FanDuel really hard is that Freiermuth, Schultz, and Parkinson are all 5,200. Mind you, Strange is 5,300, and the other guy is like 5,100. Whatever. So when you're seeing all these guys that close together, you're going to you're rolling a dice. You have 5 guys to pick from that can save you money, unless you go Kittle. And if you go double tight end, then you're going Kittle and probably one of these guys. So Kittle, Schultz, great strategy if you want to do that. Diamond, I've been streaming for over 6 years. I started out doing a lot of like top. I still do top, like best video game music. I just did my Mega Man 2 Hall of Fame induction podcast. I have a Ninja Gaiden trilogy video game music podcast. So I do a lot of stuff like that. I do a lot of interviews. I interviewed Simon Shackleton, Julius Juicebox Walker, who's fighting on the February 8th card at the Apex in Vegas. So that he came on the show. You want to learn about what it's like to be a basketball player and use those skills in the octagon. That's the guy. Plus, we love Julius Juicebox Walker. I mean, that name alone, Juicebox, let's go, right? So for me, that's kind of where it's going. But for Dr. Roto, we've been up for about 4 years, and I've went really hardcore the last 2 years to make sure that every week that there's always a consistent podcast, 2 shows a week in the off season, even more than 3, and it goes from there. We also do wrestling shows too, but there's just a lot. We like to have fun. We like to do this. I am not going to be streaming for a couple more hours today. I'm going to go hang out with the family. Daughter has a friend up from Pittsburgh, so we're going to go have fun, and then I'm going to come home and watch this game. But that's why I wanted to get this out, get this done, get these bets to all of you so that you have the lineups, you have the ideas, and you have the game theory to go off of what Doc was talking about on SiriusXM today with both DFS Hero and 1 week season, which, by the way, code word DOC90 get you 90% off your subscription at 1 week season. So you want to go check those guys out. They're really cool. They only got a couple more weeks Also, if you use Doc20, get your percentage off DFS Hero. You get that simulator. We're going to use that simulator to actually give all of you a lineup. So you're getting the Ultra Contrarian lineup for each site, and you're getting a DK simulated lineup and my thoughts of how you can change that to sway from the other simulators that will actually profit you just the same. All right, brother, man. Have a good one, Diamond. All right. And so let's get to it. My defense, it's the Chargers. I know the Patriots are great. I know the Patriots, people want to love the Patriots again. But this is a matchup between two of the top 10 defenses yards against in the NFL. If you think that there's going to be a ton of scoring, maybe there will be. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't see my boy Diane Henley just letting that go down, right? Or Tua Tagovailoa, you know him, Thule downtown, right? He going to get to it. He's going to get some sacks and stuff like that. So for me, when you're putting all that together, the Chargers defense can stop this offense. Is really Stephon Diggs that good? Is he that good? I mean, he's good. He's like Brandon Cooks, like should have been Brandon Cooks, right? But at the same time, when you look at everything else with the Brandon Cooks and what Stephon Diggs is doing, he's getting things. But if he gets shut down, you think Pop Douglas, you think Kyle Williams, you think Butte right now, he's got the questionable tag. Then you got Hunter Henry, you got Austin Hooper, you got Ramondre Stevenson, you got Travion Henderson. There's so many mouths to feed, man. So many mouths to feed. And for me, the Chargers can handle that. The Chargers have a good pass rush. The Chargers can get to the quarterback. The Chargers can make that strong offensive line. Look, now I know the offensive line on the Chargers side is bad, and the Patriots defense is good. But of the two defenses that if I had in a seasonal league, which I did have one of these defenses, it was the Chargers. So with that being said, if the Chargers can do what they need to, 2,200 on DraftKings and 3,400, I can tell you right now, all season long, I have nailed 4% defenses owned. But because this is a small slate in the NFL, you're probably going to get about 10 to 12%, 15%. If we can get the Chargers defense, get at least 3-4 sacks, get me a 22-point game under the 24-point threshold, we could be looking at 6, 7, 8 points at a 13% ownership that could help you sway the slate. Plus, don't get it wrong. Chargers will return a punt. They will return an interception or a fumble for a touchdown. They have the youth on that defense to make that happen. You heard it here first. Will you stream tomorrow? That's a great question. I probably will not stream tomorrow. I don't have plans to because I have to actually drive, get on the highway and go somewhere for a while. So for me, I'm probably not going to have the time to come back when those games start at 1. Actually, I'll be on the road coming back while those games have already started. So for me, that's not going to be a possibility. However, Dr. Roto and them may be in the subs only Discord at Dr. Roto around 10:30. Don't let me say anything, but I know that Danger and the rest of the crew are all there to answer both DFS and if you have any, best ball at this point is. So definitely if you had those rankings, you definitely want to get your lineups in. But yes, I will be back to streaming, giving my thoughts on Tuesday. And then of course the Fight Club will be on Thursday, which will do exactly what we did last week, preview divisional round. We will also talk a little bit about UFC 324, but everything, all the kit and caboodles for 324 is going to be on Thursday, 12 days from now. That's how we do it, man. You're welcome, man. Anytime, brother. Just stop through, dude. This is what we do. This is what we do, man. But if you feel like you want to get McCaffrey and Barkley on that lineup, dude, do it. Seriously, do it. And roll Gainwell. Roll Gainwell at your flex, and then throw in the tight end that you want after that. But hey, we're to that time of the show. The Ultra Contrarian. We've been going long enough, 24 minutes. This is what we're going to do. But let's hit this real quick right here. Look, all of you know I'm a point fighter. You know I get in the ring constantly, and that I am very particular about not only my diet, but what I put in my body. I'm not a huge into pills. I take cycles. I cycle on, cycle off with vitamins and different kinds of things like fish oil at times, just because I never want my body to ever get used to something. But something I did get used to recently is W Energy. I know a lot of people, I'm not an energy drink guy. As you can see, I like coffee. Bring the pain. I know a guy in Baltimore, Nega Charm Coffees, who makes great coffee, by the way. and has some of the best ideas for coffee in the world. Check him out, man. You'll love his coffee. But also, to bring that back, when we're talking about this W Energy, again, they market no colors, no dyes, no fillers, no crash. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I took a big giant swig. So I fill up one thing, do one serving in their shaker, and I go to karate 3 to 4 times a week. So I slam about 20-30% of that, and then I ride it with a lighter version of itself, so it's more water based. I've done that. I didn't crash. I have a lot of stamina anyway, being a point fighter, but I had an amazing night on Wednesday. And every day that I've taken the W energy drink and put that in there and did the mix ups, my performance has been great. So I do want to say that if you get over to W Energy, WGG, whatever, their website that they have, get over there, use code word bring the energy, and you will get 10% off of your subscription or your products. You don't want it. I'm very particular about what happens. And so for that's going to be one of those things that we need to look at, so that when we get to it, sorry, I had to do a dog hurdle thing, so that it makes you better. Believe me, it made me better. And when I go into this season as the defending champion from last season, you can bet that W Energy is going to be a big part of it. Ooh, yeah. What's up, buddy? Will I stream tomorrow? I do not know, but I might. I want to get into streaming my video games and things like that. Thanks for the sub as well, too, man. If you love gaming, if you love music, video game music, and you love UFC, NFL, Bring the Pain is a podcast for you. It's like your one-stop shop. Plus, you get everything on drroto.com. That being said, let's get to the simulated lineup by DFS Hero. Allen, Jacobs, McCaffrey, Watson, Shakir, Washington, Strange, Barkley, Steelers. Oh, yeah. I love that. Love that lineup. It's really nice. It's really good. It's kind of different than what I got. So when I sat back and looked at that lineup, I almost want to take, I love Washington, but to get a little different, Adunze. And then do the Chargers defense over the Steelers. And then that'll give you the money for Pat Fryermuth, or move down to Pat Fryermuth for Strange, because the money that you save for the Chargers in Pat Fryermuth will help you pay up for Adunze. And I just looked at the sports book. I have some bets coming, and I'm surprised they're real tentative on Adunze. Look, I know he's just coming back from that injury, but that's the guy everybody's thinking about, Luther Burden. And I know, but I'm telling you, man, Adunze comes in here and gets nine targets. I told you so. Right? And he's super cheap. I mean, his price is just great. He's like 6,300 on DraftKings. So again, just one of those guys that'll do that for that. So, all right. So that was my recommendation for the sub, for the simulated. So when you get that, most simulators are going to be in line depending on how the builds are. Every site does have different builds. So don't ever get that wrong. But there's your switch. So you get that and you get your switch out of that. So you can make 2 lineups out of that lineup right there, right? All right, let's move along. Boom. These are the Ultra Contrarian lineups for the 2026 NFL Wild Card Weekend from Dr. Roto and Bring the Pain. DK got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, McCaffrey, Watson, Jalen Coker. Even though I'm a Rams fan, I know what we're susceptible to. Puka Nacua, Tyler Higbee, Kyron Williams, and the Chargers defense. Love that lineup. I tried to, of course, with this lineup on DK, I was able to get Josh Allen in. If you want to get Josh Allen in, take out Nacua, go up to Josh Allen, and then you'll have the money to go play with whatever tight end and receiver that you want. Probably Parker Washington. That's who's in there. Speaking of that, let's get to the FanDuel lineup. Love, McCaffrey, Williams, Watson, Parker Washington, Coker. I'm putting Schultz in, but this is what I'm saying. Schultz, Fryermuth, Parkinson, and Strange. Well, those 3 guys right there, 5,200 on FanDuel. So you're literally just going to pick one of them, right? Or you can pick two of them, but there's one of them. And the one I'm going to pick, I think, has the best chance for success because of the way he's used. And the Steelers are weak at linebacker. Again, explained Thursday between me and Dan, who is a Steeler fan. Patrick McQueen. Now, I know Peyton Wilson, does try to play covers, and he has had some great defensive plays in the secondary this season, but he gets burned, right? Patrick Queen is literally tackles. Oh, there goes the ball over my head. And then that ball's going to be caught by Dalton Schultz. So that being said, that's why I picked Dalton Schultz over that. But I could see you going a little different in a big slate or a GPP. This is something Steve would do. Steve would probably do Schultz, Kittle, or Schultz and Strange. That's probably something Dr. Roto would do. Don't let me talk for them, but I'm just saying that that's something that they would do. I want to stay away from Parkinson because I know that Parkinson and Higbee got play last week. Higbee's like the playoff whisperer for the Rams in a way, but at the same time, if you want to flip it back, they're both going to get that work. Again, this is going to be like what happens in Pittsburgh with Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith, except both Higbee and Parkinson are healthy, but so is Devontae Adams. How much the Rams want to use him, that's going to be on how much Parkinson and Higbee also catch. So with Ferguson out of the mix, they've been rolling out Davis Allen, which that guy's scored sometimes this year. But what you need to remember is that's a fire. The one for sure thing is Dalton Schultz is there against that Steeler team and has an easier path to success, and that is why he is in that tight end position if you want that numbers. I'm going to end that line off. Flex Josh Jacobs. Y'all sleeping on Josh Jacobs because Josh Jacobs is
The macho pick of the week. Oh, yeah. I'm going to the top. Don't stop. Dig it. Ooh, yeah.
bam, Josh Jacobs. That's why he was in the other one right there as well, too. And the Chargers defense. So Love, McCaffrey, Williams, Watson, Washington, Coker, Schultz, Jacobs, Chargers on FanDuel. Love, Jacobs, McCaffrey, Watson, Coker, Nakua, Higbee, Williams, Chargers on that. If you want to go cheap, the only guy I'm going to go for is Tommy Tremble, 2,800. But I just whispered him last week. So that means that he's going to be pitiful this week, even against the Rams. But I feel that that's why Jalen Coker is going to take off. What you saw Tremble do last week, Coker's going to probably do to the Rams this week. So I think you went 3 for 39. You throw that over there. Tremble's still probably going to get 1 to 2 targets. He'll probably get 1 to 2 catches, maybe 3 if he's lucky. Depends on if he gets garbage time. But you're looking at Coker at least getting 4 to 5 targets out of this offense, which will be 3 catches, 47 yards, and 1 touchdown against my team. So that you could write that up. Right? Boom. All right, everybody. I know that the show, and I know that y'all want bets. Y'all like bets. Again, I have a ton of my bets at Dr. Roto already. So I'm only going to do this week. I have all 6 games covered at Dr. Roto. But for today, these are the bets that I'm going to be looking at. Jared Verse, sack, plus 144. Higbee, 2 catches, negative 310. Coker, plus 3 receptions, negative 250. Parlayed together gives you a negative 115. Bryce, 1 touchdown, negative 320. Yeah, he could probably have 2. But let's play it safe, people. We want to make money to build, and we're going to be looking at those best ball lineups and also playing DFS. Make sure you spend and put your money in appropriate places. If you need help with that, we got you, Dr. Roto. Stafford, 2 touchdowns, negative 280. Together, parlayed is a negative 133. Everybody knows how I love, and all year long, I've missed some, but all year long, I've hit some really big first quarter props. And it's game flow. If you can pick the right playbook, because you guys know, all of you know, I'm a playbook guy. I like plays. I look at the plays. I watch the games. Got my game tape, and I look at the numbers, and I see it goes, I got Kyra Williams plus 10 rushing yards, Puka plus 15 receiving yards, McMillan plus 5 receiving yards. Now, the Kyron is a negative 250. Should have gave these out together. Puka's negative 210, and McMillan is a negative 166. When you parlay that together, you get a plus 255. Boom. That's just a little nice money. So you take that plus 255, you parlay that, you get the single bets, always single bet, people, and always round robin. If you don't know how to round robin, please just talk to me. I will teach you how to make money easily by round robining. But I'll tell you what, it becomes a lot easier round robining the UFC. Y'all have no idea if you've never caught Bring the Pain till now. I'm gonna tell you, our UFC content is top notch, and that's all I'll say. Go back and look at some of the shows and see some of the bets we hit, and you'll be like, "Damn, how the hell he know he was gonna hit him with that 1-2-4?" That's why fighters no fights. Anyway, you can't do that. So that's going to be the game that I'm going to give away for the Rams game. So let's get over to the Bears Packers. Now, when I look back, I love Booker's sack plus 136. Also, Packers 2 field goals made, negative 155, like that one. Watson 3 catches, negative 270. You just heard me talk up Watson. Odunze plus 3 catches, negative 114. Remember when I was telling y'all about that earlier? That they was disrespecting Odunze? If he gets nine targets, he gets 7 targets, he's catching at least 4 balls. Right? So he's back in this game. The Packers are susceptible. We all know that secondary hasn't been the same, and the defensive line hasn't even been the same since, of course, the Micah Parsons injury. So Caleb Williams might get a lot of time back there to just throw that out. That's why this game might just shoot out. But the Packers can slow it down with Josh Jacobs. And Josh Jacobs has 2 bad games against the Bears, and rightfully so. That's why he's going to be lower owned. That's why I recommended him as the macho pick of the week. And because if he gets near the end zone, most likely he can get a touchdown, because that dude just likes to score some touchdowns sometimes. But again, you heard it here first. Ooh, yeah. All right, let's get to it. Watson and Dunze parlayed together gives you a plus 146. That's a beautiful, beautiful stuff there. Let's get you a first quarter parlay. Jacobs, 15 yards, negative 200. Dunze, 5 receiving yards, plus 118. It might be able to have that. See, now, if the Packers don't go run heavy, the Bears probably aren't. That ball's going to be hitting the ground a lot. That first quarter could just drag. But check it out. That's where Dobbs' 5-yard reception will actually help you too, because you got a plus 100 on a Dobbs 5-yard reception. So you got 2 5-yard receptions. You just need Jacobs to get 15 yards. And you get a plus 545. 545. At 545, that other parlay is going to hit, or will have hit, and you'll take that money and you're going to go put it on the back end of the Rens game, and then you're going to go play a showdown slate for the Chicago and the Packers with your money you're going to win on this game, and then you're going to be looking at the end of the day, all the money that you've won, both from the simulations through the Ultra Contrarian words and all of the other work and writers and experts work at drroto.com. That's what we do, people. I hope that this was a lot of information for you. I'm going to rerun this show on my X and on my Twitch, and also on the Dr. Roto Facebook. So you want to make sure you get to all those places. Just look for Heat Override. It's easy to sign. It's right there, right? And then you can find me right there at my podcast. So that's, again, all my audio podcasts, as well as going to drroto.com, looking up Heat Override and the other great experts. I always bring that up because maybe not everybody agrees with what I feel like. Maybe we're going to be looking at more Travis Etienne. And yes, Travis Etienne is going to be a great play today too. But for me, I'd rather take the chance at a running back that has a pathway to score, like Jacobs, 2 touchdowns. Whereas if Travis Etienne and Tootin get kind of going at it, Tootin could drag out of Etienne's production. And then therefore I know what I'm getting. And I'm not worried about Wilson unless Jacobs looks slow. But believe me, y'all about to see some stuff with Jacobs. But I do want to thank everybody that commented during this show. Also watch this show. Again, like, share, retweet. We're here every week. I've done this all football season. I'll be back again for another season to do this again with all of you. I give out full lineups because I say everything with my chest, and I always show why, and I always tell why I feel this way while we're looking at these numbers. Steve's been on the show a lot this year too, and a lot of his hits hit big. The Drake London 3 touchdown, 1%, 3% owned on that slate, took home a lot of money for him. And so for that being said, that's what we do at Dr. Roto. We really try to get you to build, take those chances, use it, move on and then get through that next day, learning in the process. That's why we have the right cure for all of your fantasy needs. Yeah. All right, everybody. Again, thanks for coming through, doing what you got to do. And for that, and for Dr. Roto, and for the entire staff at Dr. Roto, the new year is here. The Rams are up, number 32. Let's go. Always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.